that there is a bit of a resurgence for the Hunger Games that is happening right now. And I'm really happy for everyone that everyone is living their best life, remembering all of the nostalgia that it was to watch the Hunger Games and read the Hunger Games and everyone excitement over it. I'm really happy for everyone. The only thing is, I can't really participate in it because while I did watch the first two movies, first of all, I barely remember anything from them, and I've never read the Hunger Games actually. So I'm not gonna lie, I'm having FOMO a little bit because I see everyone talk about things that happen in the books that I don't really know the context of, that I don't really know, like that I don't really know anything about. And yeah, I feel a little bit left out. I'm really excited to go into it because I see everyone reminiscing about it fondly, and especially for something that was popular like 10 years ago and something that is YA, especially. I feel like it's quite rare that people remember it so fondly in the sense that they remember it being really good. Because I feel like a lot of the times with nostalgia is that we look back on things that we loved as kids, but now that we're older, we realize that, oh, actually, it wasn't that great. And I want to see if people are really right about it, if it's really as good as they remember it to be, or if they're blinded by nostalgia. I don't know. Maybe we'll see. Now, I have to be honest with you. I'm actually filming this clip after I've already read all of the series because I lost a bunch of the footage that I filmed. Basically, I lost the footage of the introduction and I lost the footage of all of the all of my reaction to the first part of the first book, so the before the games. I have nothing to say, I just lost the footage. Basically what happened is that I broke my phone, which I used to record. I broke my phone, and so I lost the footage there. But fortunately for me, I already downloaded it onto my computer. So I was like, oh, it's fine. Like, yeah, I lost the footage on my phone, but it's on my computer, so it's not lost. Whatever. My computer died. My computer died, and yeah, so I lost the footage. I ended up losing it anyway. So yeah, I'm sorry about that. So the next footage that you will see is basically a random clip of me starting the second part of the book. So if it feels a little disjointed, that's why. So yeah, again, sorry about that. See you in the next clip. Okay. I forgot about that. Okay, that's interesting. I don't know if you can hear that my voice sounds a little weird. It's because I got COVID. Yeah, I've been feeling like absolute dog shit for the past few days. Now I'm feeling slightly better. And so the good thing with being sick is when you start getting a little bit better, you have more time to do things that you want to do, like read. So I'm very glad that I have a little bit more time so that I can keep reading the Hunger Games, because at this point I'm really starting to be into it. I just finished the first part, so all of the pre-game stuff. So now we're gonna come into the games, which I'm guessing is when shit is really gonna start to go down. And I'm excited. I'm really, really excited. The last thing from the first part, the reveal in front of everyone, like Peta being asked if there's a girl that he likes in District 12, and him saying yes, and then him revealing at the end that, well, if I win, I can't get the girl because the girl like came here with me, so implying that it's Katniss. I completely forgot about that in the movies. I was so shocked. Like, I don't remember. I mean, I know he's not lying because I do remember that. I do remember that he definitely had a crush on Katniss. But I don't remember if it was planned that he said that in front of everyone, or if he just, I don't know, he decided to be honest because, like, fuck it, like, what do I have to lose? And I mean, he's right, like, what does he have to lose? I really like Katniss' attitude. I really like how she's very open about her anger towards everyone at the Capitol, about the fact that she doesn't want to try, but obviously she has to, because if she wants to survive, she has to get sponsors, and to get sponsors, she has to come across in a attractive way. She has to market herself, but obviously she doesn't want to market herself to these people who are gonna revel into watching her die, and also about the fact that these people will never, like, they've never, they don't care about how much people from District 12 are suffering. They don't care about how much the children in the Hunger Games are suffering. Like, they don't care. To them, it's just it's something in the distance. It's very understandable that Katniss hate those people and doesn't want to have to appeal to them, but she has to. And I really like how her anger is portrayed. Also really like how her love for her sister is portrayed. I think it hasn't hit her yet, the fact that she's gonna have to compete in a Hunger Games, and Katniss, I mean, and that she's, you know, she's likely gonna die. She does think about it sometimes, but I feel like obviously it's still like a distant thing, so she doesn't realize yet. But I feel like once she will be in the games, that's where it's gonna hit, and that's where she's probably gonna start maybe regretting her choice of volunteering for sister. Which, by the way, I didn't talk about that, but that's such a crazy thing to do. I mean, I have a sister too, an older sister, and I care about her. But you know, I can't say that I would have done that for her. I can't say I would have taken her place in the Argon Games. And to be fair, I don't think she would have either. It's really commendable for Candice to have done that, but at the same time, you're like, what have you done? Like, I think this is also part of her appeal for the sponsors. Is, you know, she volunteered for her sister's sake, so that she wouldn't have to compete in the Hunger Games. So obviously, it's the whole, like, great whole story about how much she loves her sister, how much she cares about her family, which is not a story, that's the truth. But you know, in terms of like a marketing, like, side of thing, it also is gonna appeal to people who are gonna be like, oh my god, that's so cute, blah blah blah. But it's actually really sad, like, that she had to do that. And obviously, like, the sponsors are not going to care about that, or like think about it too much, because to them all of this is just entertainment. But when you read the book, you're like, my god, this is so tragic. Like, the whole premise of this book is really fucked up. So I'm gonna keep reading some more, I think, and I will update you when I have something else to say. So I'm halfway through the first book right now, and something that I forgot to mention earlier is that redhead girl, you know, the one that got her tongue cut off by the Capitol. I I don't know how to explain, but like, I find it a bit weird that they don't just kill them all. I know that it's explained that some traitors. So basically, the girl got her tongue cut off by the Capitol because she was a traitor, and she was trying to escape. And they got her back, and Katniss saw her trying to escape, and she feels guilty because she didn't help her, and all that stuff. And so she sees her again while she's in the Capitol before the games, right? And so it's explained to her that people who become mute do so that they cannot talk to each other again, so that they can't, like, plan against the Capitol, which I guess that makes sense. But also, I just wonder why they don't just, like, kill them all, because okay, you technically can't talk to each other again because you're mute, but they can still hear everything. And technically, if they really tried, if they really wanted to, they could find another way to talk to each other so that they can, like, plan against the Capitol. So I guess I don't really understand, like, why they don't just, like, kill them all. And I don't know, maybe it will be, like, explained further later. I wonder if she's gonna become important later, because I don't remember her from the movies at all. So yeah, I'm interested about that. So the game started, and a bunch of stuff happened. There were the whole, like, PETA alliance with the other tributes that Candace found out and felt very betrayed by. But then later on, she saw them again, and they saw her too, and so she was stuck in a tree to try to escape them, because since they saw her, they were waiting for her to come back down eventually. Thanks to Rue, she saw that there was a wasp nest right like above them, and so she cut down what is it called? A branch? I'm I'm not sure. Yeah, it's a branch. A branch from a tree. So the wasp nest fell onto them and killed true tributes because those wasps, ordinary wasps, are already bad enough, but of course because it's the Hunger Games, like the wasps needed to be like some like monsters, uh killer monsters, like awful shit. And so two tributes died. PETA and other tributes managed to escape. Katniss, while cutting the branch, got stung by some of the wasps, and so she was hallucinating. And so PETA saw her hallucinate and saved her life. And because of that, the tributes that he had an alliance with, they hurt him very badly. So right now, I'm at this point. We don't know where PETA is. Katniss still hasn't interacted with PETA at all during the games. She made an alliance with Rue, which unfortunately I already know how that's gonna end. Right now, she's trying to either steal or like destroy the other tributes, what's it called, like their food and their camp and like that kind of stuff. And yeah, that's where I'm at, and I'm still really enjoying it. Katniss earlier talked about one tribute who basically lost his mind and started going cannibalistic, and so people speculate that the capital like purposefully killed this tribute because they didn't want someone who lost his mind to be the vanquor of the Hunger Games. So that's another thing about the games, how they're rigged, and basically ultimately the capital decides who gets to win. Yeah, I have 140 pages left before the second book, and the second book, I watched the second movie, but I basically don't really remember anything from it, and I never watched the third movie. So the third book is gonna be like all new to me. I'm not gonna know anything about it. So yeah, there's that. I'm excited for PETA and Katniss to reunite again. Also, I just realized that I don't think I've ever mentioned Gale. like in as of right now, I'm pretty sure like throughout all the vlog I've never mentioned Gale. And honestly, it's because like there's really nothing to say about him. Even in the movie, I remember I didn't really care about him and his relationship to Katniss. I don't know, he's just kind of there, like he's her best friend that she mentions from time to time because obviously like she misses him. I obviously know that he's supposed to be one part of the whole love triangle, but first of all, I hate love triangles, and especially the one in this story I feel like is very unnecessary. I don't understand why. I mean, I know why a love triangle was added. Because I'm pretty sure that Susan Collins talked about it. I could be making that up, but I think I've heard somewhere that Susan Collins mentioned the fact that there wasn't supposed to be a love triangle originally in the Hunger Games. She added one because it was during the Twilight craze, and so everyone was going crazy for the love triangle in Twilight, and so editor, they basically told her to make a love triangle between PETA and Gale so that it would be more palatable for teens or something. In my opinion, that was a very stupid idea. Not only am I biased because I fucking hate love triangles in general, but also in a story like this, you really didn't need a love triangle. I don't know. I just don't think that's necessary. He's barely there. I really don't care about him. I know I've heard that a lot of people like actively don't like him. I don't remember anything from the movies that made me actively dislike him. I just remember not caring about him. So I'm kind of anticipating to see what exactly made people like actively dislike him, because I remember seeing on like Twitter and stuff people actively shitting on Gale. So, but I don't know. I'm gonna keep reading, and I will see you when I have something else to say. Well, I didn't have to wait for long because Ru just died. Fuck's sake. This is so sad. This is so sad. The fact that Katniss literally called her Prim in her last moment, it's so sad. Fuck, she was so young. She was so young, and Katniss like sang a song for her so that she could be in peace while she's dying. I'm gonna fucking cry. I'm gonna fucking cry and I need to go back to work. This was not ideal. I didn't know that it was so
here I don't. I'm going through it. I don't even have the words. I didn't remember like when it was. I remembered that Rue was gonna die, but I didn't remember like when she was gonna die. So I didn't expect it to happen so soon. And yeah, it's so sad. Yeah. Anyways.
So I'm finally done with the first book, and I really loved it. I especially really liked the ending. The capital can eat my ass. The fucking I'd forgotten about that. I'd forgotten about the whole like trying to pretend that there could be two victors so that Katniss and Peta would team up to win the competition together so that they would like have hope that they could win the competition together to in the end when they're the only two left to be like JK, actually you're not going to be able to win together, one of you is going to have to die and you're going to have to kill the other. Like that is so fucked up, but honestly like also there's a part of me that understood I understood the capital's um its mentality, the whole idea that it makes for good television, because honestly like it does. I have to like give them that. It does make for good television. But yeah, so that whole part where Katniss was like, "Oh, you thought you had us? Well, actually, fuck y'all. Fuck y'all. We're not gonna give you the satisfaction. We're both gonna die." And now I'm scared for her because the Capitol is very upset that she basically went against them, because the whole idea of the Hunger Games, it's explained multiple times in in the first book, that the whole idea around the Hunger Games is for the Capitol to subjugate all the districts and to remind them, we own you. We can kill you if you want. If you want, we can kill you if you want. Oh my god, we can kill you if we want. So don't get too comfortable. So obviously, Katniss going against them and showing them, actually, I'm gonna do what I want. That's not, they don't like that very much. So I'm scared for her in the second book. I don't think I have anything else to say. I really loved the first book. I'm pretty sure I'm gonna give it 5 stars. I think it's a very, very solid story. It's really well done. Yeah, it's just really well done. Like the themes are very well handled. The characters are all fleshed out, and they're all how did I say this? You root for Katniss, you root for Peta. They are very likable, and also just in general, the book was very entertaining. I felt like the pacing was perfect. So yeah, it's just a really really great book, and I'm excited for the rest. And yeah, also I didn't mention that, but um, Peter found out about the fact that Katniss was not completely genuine when they were pretending to be in love. When she was pretending to be in love with him to appeal to people who watch the Hunger Games, but Peter was being genuine and thought that she was just as genuine as he was. So obviously, when he found out that she wasn't, it was actually like mostly to keep them alive. Obviously, he's upset, and I understand why he's upset, but at the same time I feel like he I don't know. I don't know, I understand why he's upset, but at the same time, like maybe it's because we're in her head that I'm very understanding of Katniss and her struggles. And I know that we obviously know that she genuinely likes Peeta. She's just confused right now about her feelings, which is understandable because the situation that they were in was it was not a normal situation. They were in a life or death situation. So I feel like it should be a little more, I don't know, a little bit more understanding about the fact that she's a little confused, because she told him that it wasn't just to win the games. There were some parts that were genuine to her. Like she wasn't completely lying. So, but I understand that because he's upset. It kind of made him not listen to her. I kind of get it. I don't know. I get both point of view, but I'm sad that he's upset at her currently. I'm pretty sure we're gonna see more Gale in the second book. I don't know. I'm kind of neutral as of right now about him. I don't really care about him much because we didn't get to see anything to make us care. So we'll see. So I'm gonna start the second book right now. So I'm on chapter 5 of the second book, and as of right now, Snow visited Katniss to tell her to basically do what he wants her to do. If not, he will kill her entire family and basically everyone she cares about, which is fun. Also, he apparently smells like blood, which that's interesting. I don't know what that's about. I don't know if it's like for dramatic effect, but okay, I guess. It smells like blood. So Katniss and Peta had a conversation. Peta told her that they could be friends because things were a little awkward um, between them ever since that. Ever since Katniss told him that basically she wasn't really in love with him and was all to for the games. So now they're friends. So that's cool. Peta is. I love Peta. He's such a nice guy. Like I know that most people love Peta, but I also know that some people didn't like Peta, and I cannot understand why because he's so perfect to me. I don't know. I really like Peta. Oh yeah, another thing. Gail kissed Katniss, which that's a thing. I understand why he did it because after everything with Peta, after he saw everything with Peta, I understand that he's like, well, this I guess this is my last shot to let her know how I feel about her. So I get it, but at the same time, it's like, okay, I don't like I said, I don't know enough about Gail to really care about him, so I didn't care about the kiss. Also, Peta and Katniss went before District 11 and they talked about Thresh and Rue, and they what's it called? Thanked them and paid homage to them. And after Katniss paid homage to Rue, there's an old guy who did the whistling that Rue and Katniss did to each other when they were in the arena, and all of the District 11 did the gesture that she did when Rue died, which is like the three fingers, and she kissed it, and like she, you know what I'm talking about. So they did that, and obviously the capital saw it as an act of a rebellion because it's basically what it was, and they killed the old guy who whistled first. So I'm guessing that shit is gonna hit the fan now, and yeah, I'm excited for the rest.
So I'm on the third part of the second book, and so much happened. Okay, so for starters, there are some uprising that started in some of the districts. The first one being District 8. Snow is obviously not very happy about that and is blaming Katniss because honestly, like, it's kind of her fault. And so he started punishing District 12 to avoid them having an uprising. So other, I don't know what they're called in English, pacifiers, like the little policemen kind of guys. He replaced the old pacifiers with new ones, which are way less they're way more strict, I would say. And one of them tortured Gale because he hunted a turkey or something like that, and so since it's illegal in the District 12, he arrested him and lynched him publicly. So that was something. Katniss kissed him, which I did not expect, but she did. I'm not gonna talk much about the whole like Katniss, Peta, Gale thing because honestly, that's probably my least favorite part of the book right now. I just don't really care about it. Like, and honestly, not only do I not care that much about it, it's starting to annoy me a little bit because I'm just like, Katniss, I understand that she's confused and she doesn't know like what her feelings are, but I'm gonna need her to get her shit together and to stop flip flopping between the two because I'm also confused. Like, she keeps flip flopping between the two, and I'm just like, girl, make up your mind. Like, I don't know. Um, so there's that, and what else? She also saw some people from District 8 who escaped because they are traitors and they participate in the uprising. She saw them in District 12 while they were on their way to go to District 13 because they think that the capital is lying and that District 13 is actually like there are people in it, which I don't remember anything about that from the movies that I watched. So I'm kind of curious to see if, like, I'm assuming that they're right, because why would this be a plot point if it wasn't right? So I'm excited to see like more of the District 13 and like what happened to it, what really happened to it, and how it's gonna play into the story. Also, another way that Snow punished Katniss is obviously the new Hunger Games, like the Hunger Games of this year. He decided that it would be winners from years before that would participate in this year's Hunger Games, which that is so fucking cruel. Like, I can't even be mad about it because that is so smart. He can't just kill Katniss, obviously, because she's a victor, so he can't just kill her how he wants, because then it would just make things worse. People would probably revolt even more if he just killed Katniss. So he knows that he can't just do that. So to get rid of her, he organized another Hunger Games where she has to participate in it. But that is so cruel. That is so cruel to Katniss, but that is also so cruel to the other victors, because can you imagine going through something like the Hunger Games and like being traumatized by it, and when you win you think, okay, I'm never gonna have to go through that again, like this is it, and you're told that you have to go back. I think I honestly would just kill myself. Like, I can't imagine. I can't imagine. Also, another thing that I didn't mention earlier, but that I thought, is that I really like how PTSD, Katniss, I can't talk, how Katniss and Amish PTSD is shown, and even the other victors, like we see, for example, the ones that are addicted to morphine. I like how Susan Collins is not just brushing off the traumatizing shit that the victors experience in their games. Like, no, this was obviously very traumatizing, and so they pretty much all have PTSD as a result. And I really like how it's handled. I like that it's like that, because I feel like in certain books, a lot of the times you will have characters that go through things that are objectively traumatizing, and then after everything is done, I feel like the characters are not, they don't have PTSD the way that they would if this was real life, because this is a very traumatizing thing to experience. So realistically, like, you wouldn't just be fine after it. You know what I mean? So I really like when books portray PTSD and stuff like that. So yeah, this is something that I really like about the book. Also, I just finished the part where the tributes are talking, are doing their interview in front of the whole capital, and P- I just love Peter. Okay, like, this guy is he's so fucking smart. The way he said, "If it wasn't for the that is so fucking iconic. That line, I did remember that line, and the way everyone was outraged and was like, "Oh my god, you can't have her participate if she's pregnant." Blah blah. Blah. It's inhumane. Whatever. And I'm just like, this is so fucking hypocritical, because literally all of the people participating in the Hunger Games are supposed to be children. Now we're gonna get into the games. I think there's around 100 pages left before the ending, so I'm assuming that the games they're gonna go on much faster than in the other book. I mean, obviously, because in the other book, most of the book was the Hunger Games. I have no idea how everything is gonna turn out here. It's the second book in the trilogy, so I'm assuming that Katniss is gonna live. But I don't know about Peeta. Like, how are both of them gonna live? I don't remember anything about that, so I'm kind of curious to see how everything will turn out. I'm almost done with the second book. As of right now, we're in the middle of the games, so Peeta and Katniss have partnered with what's his name? Finnick and Mags. I really like Finnick. I didn't talk about him, but he's funny. I don't know. We don't know much about him except that he has the reputation of like being kind of conceited because he's like very attractive, and that's pretty much all we know about him. But he's very funny, so I like him. And Mags was in the same district as him. She apparently used to be his mentor when he participated in the Hunger Games. And unfortunately, she died. She actually sacrificed herself to save Peeta, which was very sad, but very interesting because a lot of tributes seem to, I don't know, sacrifice themselves for Peeta or Katniss. I'm not really sure. That's kind of weird. I still don't know what's up with that, and I'm really curious to see why
they seem to be sacrificing themselves for PETA. Like I don't really understand what's going on with that. There is really not much left of the book, so I'm gonna start having answers really soon. I hope, and I'm guessing shit is really gonna start to happen now because I have what this much left of the second book. So yeah, there's not much left. So I don't really know, and I don't remember at all how the second movie, like the second movie ended. So I have no idea how things are gonna turn out. So I'm really, I don't know. I don't know. I'm excited, but at the same time, there is so little left before the ending that I'm kind of skeptical. Like how they're in the middle of the games right now. How is everything gonna wrap up in so little pages? I'm confused. I don't know. Mm, okay. I know this was supposed to be cute, and I'm probably like supposed to be swooning, but it actually kind of makes me sad. I don't know, the fact that PETA basically just told Katniss that he wants her to live because she's the only one out of them two who has other people in District 12. He's saying, I mean, he has his family too, but he's saying that basically she's the only reason he has to live. And I know it's supposed to be romantic, but like, I don't know. I don't know. I don't really like that because that's really sad. And honestly, like that's not very healthy. Like you shouldn't be living for one person alone. You shouldn't like make your whole life revolve around that one person. This is a little bit much. What the fuck is happening? What? Did Joanna really? Did she really betray Katniss? I mean, I don't know why I'm surprised because that's the whole point of the Hunger Games. Like, there's only one that can survive, so obviously, like, they're gonna betray each other. But I didn't. I don't know. It doesn't really make sense with what she did before with protecting PETA and what she said about giving the other tributes to Katniss. I don't know what's going on. I'm confused. Okay, so they had a plan for the tributes of District 3, 4, 6, 7, 8, and 11 knew that there was a plan to basically make the tributes leave. Okay, so the High Judge, what's his name? Plutarch Heavensby. I'm not sure that's how you pronounce it, but that's how I'm gonna say it. He's a traitor of the capital. He was actually part of the resisting group for years, and so obviously is on their side, and he planned this whole thing to have them survive it. Okay, that's interesting. What I'm wondering though is where all the other tributes of the like where all of the other tributes of the districts that I just said were they all aware of this plan? But why? Why did okay? If they made all of these tributes aware of the plan, why didn't they tell Katniss and Peeta about it? I'm a little confused. Like, why weren't they aware that that was the plan all along? Because sure, Amish made sure to have these tributes make an alliance with Peeta and Katniss, but still, he could like they couldn't be sure that Katniss and Peeta wouldn't eventually kill them. Why wouldn't they make them aware of the plan so that they know that they're not supposed to kill each other because they're supposed to all like come out of it alive? I don't really get it. I don't really get it right now. So District 13. The Overcraft is District 13's. So they were right. The District 13 does still exist and they have an Overcraft. Interesting. How the fuck? I'm so confused. I'm so confused. I'm sure that I'm gonna get all of my answers. I mean, probably in the next book because there's like 3 pages left in this book, so I'm pretty sure that I'm not gonna get all of my answers here. I'm assuming I will get more answers in the third book, but right now I'm very confused with all of these reveals. I did not see them coming, which is especially shameful because I literally watched the second movie. Granted, it was years ago, but still, the fact that I watched the second movie and I don't remember any of this, like I was not expecting that at all. Okay, so They explained why why Peeta and Katniss weren't made aware of the plan. Apparently, it's because they knew that the capital would try to capture them first once the plan was in motion. And so it was better for them to not know so that they could save them and they could protect them as much as they could, whatever, blah, blah. Okay, I guess, sure. So that's also why the other tributes were trying so hard to protect them because, you know, she's the Mockingjay, she's the symbol of the revolution. Peeta got taken by the capital. The capital has Peeta. No. They also have Joanna and Novaria. Uh, I care a little less about those two. I'm not gonna lie, but oh my god, Peeta. Okay. Okay, so there's no District 12 anymore. They bombed it. So they basically did to District 12 what they apparently did to District 13. But apparently District 13 is still there, so I don't really know what the fuck is going on. But okay, so there's no District 12 anymore. I'm so tired. I'm so tired. I'm so exhausted. That was a good book. That was a good book. I don't know. I don't know if I like it more or less than the first book. There's a part of me that likes it more because the ending is definitely better. The ending of this book is so much more impactful than the ending of the first book. The ending of the first book was fine. I mean, I don't know because the ending of the first book was also pretty iconic because there's the whole like Peeta and Katniss both surviving. So that's pretty iconic, but I still do think that the ending of the second book is so impactful. Like the whole reveal of the plan, the fact that the guy who basically made the games was like a traitor in disguise and was actually on their side all along. The fact that Pete I got fucking captured and now there's no District 12. I mean, that's an ending for sure. So the book overall, I really like it, but I don't know. I don't know. There's something about the first book that I like more because maybe because the whole concept of the Hunger Games. I mean, even if it's really fucked up, it is really entertaining to see people, fight to the death. I mean, there's a reason why ancient Rome had those gladiators. So the first book being mainly the Hunger Games was, I feel like, more entertaining than the second book. But I do still like it. And just for the ending, I'm tempted to say that I prefer the second book. So yeah, I'm excited for the third book.
So I'm around 100 pages into the third book right now, and not a lot of things happened, but I still have a lot to say because this book is so completely different from the first two books in tone and also in just in subject. We know we are in the middle of the war now. So Katniss went to District 13 because when the capital attacked them, they basically managed to go underground. So they managed to build a life underground, and the capital kind of just left them alone because they have a nuclear weapon, from what I understand. And because they didn't want to have a full-on like nuclear war because they knew that everyone would die if that was the case. They basically just decided to leave them alone and just let them do their thing as long as they don't intervene with the other districts and with the capital. So that's District 13. That's where Katniss, her family, and Gale, and also most of the rebels are. It's very interesting because it's a very military based life that they live. Basically, the way that they live is very rigid. They all have a schedule that they have to meet. um, when they eat, they have like specific portions that are specific to their height, their weight, their age, their sex, like everything, and they don't have anything more. And if you steal food, you get punished. So it's a very rigid and strict environment, which is very interesting, but also makes sense because of like how much they have to sacrifice to keep on living. So it makes sense that it's that way. We also meet Coin, who is the president of the District 13 and kind of the leader of the revolution, who is an interesting character. We don't know much about her, but we just know that she's very dedicated to the cause and she's very strict. She's very rigid. What I find interesting is that there are parallels between the District 13 and the capital. I'm not sure really how to explain that, but in some things that they do when it comes to the war and when it comes to rallying people, they kind of do things that are similar. For example, they both use propaganda, which I appreciate. I appreciate that Susan Collins showed. I don't really know how to formulate it because I don't want to make it seem like the District 13 is just like the capital, because there are obviously differences. The District 13, ultimately, they want people to be free. They want people to be free of the capital and to do what they want and to not have the Hunger Games happen and to not have like district have more than others and stuff like that. Like, they want equality and they want freedom for everyone. So they are different from the capital in that sense. But I'm just saying that they use sometimes similar methods. They are definitely showing that the District 13 is not perfect, which I appreciate, because in a war, like realistically, no one is perfect. I'm not saying that each side is going to be as bad as the other. Obviously not, especially when one side is basically subjugating the other camp. Obviously, they're the worst side. But in a war, each side is going to do things that are maybe not the most moral things. And so that's kind of what happens with District 13. They also use propaganda. They also use Katniss and basically lie to the people to rally them to their cause, so that they help them, so that they can have as many people as they can, so that they can fight and win against the capital. In my opinion, I feel like it is a more realistic approach, because I feel like she could have easily, especially since it's YA, she could have easily went the route of making the District 13 perfect and basically the perfect victims and saints to have you obviously be on their side, but she didn't do that. She showed that there are flaws to their system, that they are not perfect, kind people. They are people in the world that have to do things that are not great because they need to win this war. So Katniss agreed to be the Mockingjay. She managed to get Peeta to basically not be charged and not be punished for being a traitor at the end of the war, because right now is with the capital, and he called for a ceasefire, which is considered by the District 13 as an act of betrayal. So, but because I mean, he's with the capital. Like, can you really blame him for what he's saying? Because they could make him say whatever they want, because if not, they would kill him. So I don't know if it's fair to call him a traitor because of that, but whatever. Like, whatever. She managed to get him protected as a condition for her becoming the Mockingjay. So there's that. I don't know if I can say that I'm enjoying it, because obviously it's about war and it's a very, very serious and very sad topic. But I do appreciate right now the way that it's handled by Susan Collins. I appreciate the nuance that Susan Collins brought in her book. So yeah. Okay, the love triangle is starting to really annoy me right now. I already wasn't a big fan of it in the second book. Like, it was already annoying me how Katniss kept like flip-flopping between Gale and Peeta. But now in this third book, I'm really, really not enjoying it. First of all, I'm starting to understand why people dislike Gale, because his whole mentality. The thing is, I understand why he thinks the way he does and why he's so cutthroat, and he's basically like, the only way for us to win is to like not have pity on the capital and on the people that are siding with the capital, because there was this whole thing in the district, in the second district, where they bombed a mine. District 13 bombed a mine with people from District 2 in it to basically like to get District 2. I don't remember what the word is, but like, you get what I mean. Whatever. They bombed the mine with people in it to trap them and then force them to surrender, basically. But Gale's initial plan, what he wanted to do was he wanted to kill them, and Katniss obviously was not happy with it and was like, no, you can't do that. Again, I understand why Gale thinks the way he does. Basically, he has this mentality of, we can't afford to be human, almost, because our enemies, they will not hesitate to kill us, so we have to be the same, basically. I understand it, but at the same time, like, how different are you from the capital if you basically do the same things that they do? And Katniss literally says that to him, like, if you start to justify killing people left and right because it serves your cause, then that's how you end up being like the capital. So there's that. And there's also Peeta, who was formatted by the capital to basically hate Katniss and see her as an enemy and as a not even human, which is very sad because they literally brainwashed him and just it's so sad. He almost killed Katniss, and knowing how kind Peta is at heart, to see him like that, being controlled by the capital, it's very heartbreaking. And obviously, it's heartbreaking for Katniss because she really cares about him. She kissed Gale, and she still thinks about Peta and loving Peta, and she just like, yeah, she just keeps flip flopping, and I don't like that. This is exactly why I hate love triangles, because I feel like it is done that way to make it seem like Katniss loves both, but what really ends up happening is that I feel like she loves neither. Like, I mean, she's in love with neither. I think she loves both in a, like, obviously because Gail is her best friend and because Peta, like, she genuinely cares about Peta. But, like, the way yeah, I don't know. The romance is not, it's definitely the weakest part of this series, I feel like. Finnick, I really like Finnick. We're not seeing much from him. He went on television and admitted what the capital did to him, which is that President Snow basically forced him to prostitute him uh, to prostitute himself. Otherwise, they would kill like his family and people he cared about and stuff. And that's just that. When you thought the capital couldn't get worse, it does. That is fucking vile. You win the Hunger Games and you're still not free. Literally, they put you in the Hunger Games, give you major PTSD, and you win and you're still not free because they have complete control over you. But because he prostituted himself, they told him a lot of secrets and he went on television and just told everyone's secrets in the capital and President Snow's as well. So I'm kind of scared because I don't think Snow liked that very much. So I'm a little bit scared about what's gonna happen to Finnick because I don't think he's gonna leave that um, unpunished. This book is not, it's not bad. It's not bad at all. I think it's actually a pretty good book. But personally, the whole, I don't know, I guess maybe like reading about war is not my favorite subject because this book is like a war. This is the whole topic of the book. This is what the book is about. And it's done in a way that I appreciate and that I think is pretty good, especially for YA. But it's just not my favorite subject matter. And like I already said, the whole love triangle is just, it's definitely the worst part of this book. Like it's starting to really piss me off.
So this is the final stretch. I have 80 pages left. So I'm almost done with the Hunger Games series. Um, I feel like those 80 pages are going to be filled with a lot of stuff because right now there's 80 pages left and they still haven't like confronted Snow. Like they're still not in the capital at all. So I'm curious how everything is going to wrap up in 80 pages because I feel like that's not a lot of time to like have the final the final confrontation, the final battle, and have everything wrapping up. I don't know. I don't know. I'm trusting Susan Collins because up until now I feel like she did a great job with the pacing of everything pretty much. So I'm trusting her, but right now I'm a bit skeptical. So yeah, I'm a little bit scared, but I'm excited for it to end because I'm not gonna lie, while I do still enjoy the series, I've been reading those books for over a month. So I'm ready for them to be done. Like I'm ready to be done with this series and just focus my mind on other things. Even though I was reading other things while reading this series, I feel like it took so much of my brain capacity, brain power, this series. So I'm kind of ready to be done. But yeah, I'm excited. Oh, oh no. Oh, for fuck's sake. Well, I'm already crying, so that's fucking great. Thank God I have tissues here, so I'm gonna need them apparently. Well, I think Finnick is gonna die. I'm pretty sure he's gonna die. He got caught by those like mutations things that killed Kato in the first one. Yeah, I think it was the first one. I loved Finnick. That's so fun. I'm, I'm so upset. For fuck's sake. Why? Why Finnick? I mean, they're all dying. He's not the only one who's dying. Like, trust me, they're all dying. But like, I'm not gonna lie. Like the rest of the team, sure, it's sad that they're dying, but I don't care that much because we don't know that much about them. But Finnick, it's so unfair because he went through so much. He went through so much, and he was finally happy with Annie, and they got married. And now he fucking died with those stupid ass fucking mutations thing. I'm so upset. I'm so upset. I had no idea that Finnick was gonna die because I didn't know anything about the last book. I mean, I should have expected it. I should have expected it because obviously some people are gonna die, and like who's gonna die? I know. I don't. Maybe I don't know because I was gonna say I don't think the main three like Peta, Katniss, and Gale are gonna die, but I don't know actually. Maybe Gale could die. Is it bad? Is it bad that honestly, if Gale dies, I don't think I will care as much as I did with Finnick when he's technically more important than him, but honestly, I think I liked Finnick better. I don't know. I don't hate Gale still, but it's a character that I don't care that much about, to be completely honest. I'm sorry for the Gaily, the Gale girlies. I'm sorry for you if you love Gale, but I don't care that much about him. So, um, okay. Sorry, I was so confused. Okay, so Prim just died. So there's that. Basically, what happened is that the President Snow had a sort of cage with a bunch of children in there as human shields. I sound confused because at first I didn't understand. Like when the parachutes came to the children, and they started getting to them because they thought it was food and stuff like that. And actually, they were bombs. I thought it was the capital that did that, but obviously that doesn't make sense because the capital is the one that put those children there as human shields, so it doesn't make sense for them to bomb them. So I guess it was the resistance, the rebellion, that bombed them. But I also don't understand because Prim and other doctors from the rebellion came to the rescue of those children, and that's how Prim died because the other bombs got set off. So if District 13 is the one that bombed those children, how like why did she go trying to save them? I'm very confused. Okay, I mean to be fair, like maybe it's gonna be explained later on, but like right now, or maybe it's me who's stupid, like who doesn't understand something that's obvious. But right now, I'm kind of confused as to what like who sent those bombs. But yeah, Prim died, which is obviously very sad, but I guess I wasn't super attached to her, so I'm sad. I'm more sad for Katniss than I am about Prim herself dying. It's especially sad that Katniss in the end wasn't able to save Prim when the reason everything started was because Katniss was trying to save Prim. Like the whole reason she volunteered for the Hunger Games and like all of this thing about the Mockingjay and stuff like that happened was because she was trying to save Prim, and in the end, she still died. Now the capital fell, and so the District 13 is in command. Snow got captured and is right now in a cell, and Coin became the president. That's really fucked up. If they had Prim and all the other like doctors from District 13 going to save those children, if District 13 is the one that bombed those children. Honestly, even beyond that, it's still fucked up for them to have bombed those children because they were basically like, well, human shield, we don't give a fuck. We're still gonna kill them anyway. Like if District 13 sent those bombs, it's especially I feel like it's pretty symbolical the fact that Prim died because of the fact that she was the whole reason that everything started. So the fact that in the end she still died and she couldn't do anything about it, that's very symbolical of the fact that this whole thing became bigger than herself. And if District 13 is the one that caused Prim to die, it's especially symbolical of the fact that in the end Katniss wasn't just used by the capital, she was also used by District 13 for the rebellion, which is something that she never asked. All she wanted to do was to keep her family safe. And they took advantage of that to make her the face of this rebellion and like do this whole war, making it seem like it's all around her when she never asked for this. She never wanted this in the first place. In the end, yes, she was part of the cause, obviously, because she wanted them. She wanted everyone to be free, but it still wasn't what she wanted in the first place. And the fact that District 13 took advantage of her, really similarly to the way that the Capitol tried to use her, I feel like that's, yeah. So I was right. It was District 13. Basically, District 13 bombed those children because they planned on filming it and showing it to everyone so that people would, for good, stop supporting the Capitol, because obviously killing children is probably one of the most disgusting, if not the most disgusting thing you can do. So it worked because that's the reason why the Capitol fell. It's implied that all Cohen really cares about is to be in Snow's position. She only cares about being the president. She doesn't actually care about the rebellion. She doesn't care about like people being free. I mean, obviously, she doesn't care about people being free. The whole thing about District 13 is that they're basically soldiers. They're trained to be soldiers, and everything that they do is monitored. That's why their regimen and their schedules is so strict. That really drives home the fact that she's really no better than Snow. Like at this point, they're no better than the Capitol. Katniss obviously remembered Gail's bomb. She just had a conversation with Gail, who essentially confirmed that it came from District 13. He doesn't know if it was his bomb, but like he said, it doesn't really matter that much because Katniss will always have this thought in the corner of her mind, wondering, was it his bomb? I don't think Gail is to blame for that because he didn't decide to do that. And obviously, he didn't want Prim to die, obviously, but it was still his idea, and he was still okay to do it with other people, just not people he knew. So he's kind of a hypocrite like that. Anyways, I'm gonna keep reading because I only have 20 pages left, so I'm almost there. Wow. She killed President Coin because um, wow, I have no words. I didn't expect that. Okay, so basically, President Coin. Oh my god, I can't. I have no words. I'm so. All right, center yourself. Okay, so President Coin brought back all of the Vanker the fuck the winners of the Hunger Games that had the immunity that Candace asked for them when she negotiated with Coin, and basically Coin told them that they had a choice either to like kill people in the capital or to do one last Hunger Games that would be like symbolical, and to have the kids of the people who had a lot of power in the capital as like a revenge thing, which obviously the whole reason why Katniss even joined the rebellion in the first place, and why Peeta also did, was to never have another Hunger Games again. So for her to be like, oh, we're gonna have one last Hunger Games with the kids of the capital, it's like they're still kids. Like you're like she said, Katniss literally said, nothing will ever change because Coin has the same mentality as Snow. She's like, well, it's only fair to have them to punish them like that, to have them to do to them the same thing that they did to the other districts, except at the end of the day, you're doing the same thing as the capital because you're not punishing the capital. You're punishing their children who didn't do anything, who didn't ask for anything. That is so like yeah, she's basically just like Snow. And when she because they all had a vote, they all had to vote for it. And Peeta obviously voted no. Joanna voted yes, which is not that surprising. Candice voted yes, very surprisingly. When she voted yes, I swear I was like, girl, what are you doing? What are you doing? Like, listen, I love Katniss, but at this moment, I was so disappointed. I was like, you can't be serious. You can't genuinely like be okay with another Hunger Games when that's the whole reason why you did all this. Like, no, like I was very disappointed, and Hamish also said yes. And so Coin organized the whole like snow execution. Candice had one arrow that she was supposed to use for to kill Snow, basically, and then she surprised everyone and killed Coin instead. And now everything is gonna go to shit, and I'm curious. This is over. It's a very bittersweet ending, but I appreciate it. I think I think the ending could have never been too happy because this is the reality of the war. Like you don't just come out of it. Even if you win, there are still losses. There are still people who died. There's still trauma. So it's not just a happy like yes we won, everything is back to normal. Like no, and yeah, it's sad. It's sad, and there's everything to rebuild, and there's life to rebuild because I feel like when you spend so much time in a war, in a life or death situation, coming back to normal must feel so weird. It's a very appropriate ending. I feel like the fact that some people decided to not go back to District 12. Katniss did. She did, in the end, come back to District 12 along with Amish and Peta and Buttercup, who surprisingly survived and managed to find Katniss back, which is sweet. Even though she never liked the cat, it's a memento for friends, so that's nice. Gale didn't come back to District 12. He stayed in District 2, where he found a job because he probably knew that his relationship with Katniss would never be the same again. So Peeta came back to District 12 with her, and they got into a relationship. And in the epilogue, they have children together, which I don't know how I feel about that because the way she describes it, she says that at first she wasn't sure if she wanted them, and because Peeta insisted, she eventually accepted in a way to have children. And it is obvious that she loves them and that she's happy that they're there, but because of her trauma, it's probably also difficult. I know about the criticism that some people make about the fact that it doesn't make sense for Katniss to have children in the end because she spent so much time during the trilogy to say that she didn't want children. I don't know if I agree with that because yes, she did say that, but she always said it in the context of the games and of the capital and the districts and just the life that they were living, that it wasn't safe for children to live. So I don't know if I agree with the fact that it doesn't make sense for her to have children because like since she always said it in this specific context, it wasn't like oh she never wanted children because she just never wanted children. It was always about I don't want to bring children in this type of situation, in this type of world. So actually I feel like it kind of makes sense in a way for her to have children after the war is over, and it's kind of significant and symbolical of the fact that the war is over and that there's peace and that they're at peace, so much so that she feels comfortable enough to have children, even though she still has that trauma that she has to carry around. Yeah, I feel like that's kind of significant. So actually, I don't really agree with uh, some of the people that I saw say that it didn't make sense for her to have children. As for the fact that she ended up with Peta, I mean, I love Peta, so I'm not mad at it, but I'm not gonna lie, while I was very enthusiastic about their relationship in the first book, I mean, I've talked about it throughout this vlog. The more we went into the whole love triangle thing, the less I cared about either of the relationships. And I'm not gonna lie, by the end, even though she ended up with Peta, who was technically my favorite character, I don't really care that she ended up with him. Like, I mean, I'm happy that they're both happy in the end, but I feel like in general, in the trilogy, the romance is probably the thing that I like the least, and I think is the least well done. I honestly I feel like it's the love triangle that kind of ruined everything. Like if I feel like if the romance had been solely focused on the relationship between Peeta and Katniss, I feel like I would have liked it more than this like constant love triangle pretty much up until the very end. I mean, I'm also biased because I hate love triangles. Like I never liked them. So there's also that. But yeah, the romance, my least favorite thing in the whole series as a whole. I really, really, really enjoyed this trilogy. I think it's so well done. I knew that a lot of people said I was the best dystopian series out there, but I'm not gonna lie, and I knew that it was good because I mean I watched the first two movies, but first of all I didn't remember everything from it, especially the second movie. I pretty much didn't remember anything from it. And also, even though people praise this series, I mean people praise a lot of things. Let's be real. People hype up a lot of things. So sometimes when I see a lot of people be like, "Oh my god, this is the best thing ever. This is amazing," I'm like, "Is it though? Is it?" Because it's not always the case. But I'm happy to say that it is the case for the Hunger Games. It's not just nostalgia. It is actually a very well done trilogy. It's a very well done dystopian. I especially appreciate the second book because I feel like in trilogies there's this I don't know what it's called. I think it's called the oh I don't remember. I know there's a specific term, but I can't remember it right now. But usually the middle book in a trilogy tend to not be as good as the other two because it's kind of like a transition between the first and the third, and a lot of the times it's just a bunch of filler and it's just not as good as the other two. But with this second book, I'm really glad that it was as good as it was. I feel like it was such a perfect middle book to seamlessly transition from the Hunger Games of the first one to the war. In the end, I think my favorite book is still the first one. I think I don't know. I mean, to be fair, since the first one was pretty much the only story that I remembered, I feel like there's also this sense of nostalgia that makes me love the first one more. So actually, maybe I'm biased, and maybe there's a part of nostalgia that makes me just love the first one a little bit more than the other two. But honestly, like the whole trilogy is really good, really impressive. Also, I wanted to talk about the prequel because I know the movie is gonna come out. Actually, it's gonna come out like this week or next week, something like that. I debated whether I wanted to read the prequel in this video or not, but in the end, I'm not gonna read it. At least not for this video because I need a break. I really enjoyed this trilogy, but I need a break from this world. I need a break from I need a break from it because it's been over a month since I've been reading it, and I feel like it has taken over my brain. I need to, you know, I need a break. And also, this video is already, I know it's going to be already way too long, and I feel like if I read this book on top of it, like this video is going to be 3 hours long, so I'm not going to do that. I don't know. I feel like maybe I will eventually read it because I am interested in the story, and I watched a trailer for the movie and it looks really good. But right now, I'm just not in the mindset to read it. But yeah, this is the end of this video. I have no idea how long it will be. I know that it's very long. I don't know how I'm gonna edit it down because I filmed a lot of clips, but I'm gonna try to make it as short as possible so that it's not like 3 hours long. Thank you for going along this ride with me. I hope this video isn't too long. If you're still here watching, thank you. I hope this video was at least semi entertaining. So yes, thank you for watching, and I will see you in my next one. Bye.